Well, hello there, friends, on this wonderful Sunday, January 24th, 2021. It is about noon. Probably going to start looking for another place to record these. This is not the best spot. Seems, you try to find little spots kind of away from main roads and all that, but it's oddly busy. People driving by, and if you're going to listen to this anyway and not watch anything, it might as well be relatively quiet in the background so you can hear me ramble. So got out of church. I started collecting those little bulletin pamphlets, and it's they don't quite have the nice, I guess, icons that sounds like Producer Chris has Producer Chris. See, if you're out there, Producer Chris, hope you're doing all right, man. Christopher Anderson said that he, or his church, or a previous church of his has, that he would use and make his own icons, but I don't know, I kind of just like having some of the info and some of the passages and homilies and I don't know, that stuff. I'm still learning all that stuff, folks. It's been a very long time and I never really knew it. And I did pick up a printing out of the liturgy. It's mostly just following along with other people and seeing what, I'm not, at this point, am I supposed to cross myself? I don't know. If anything, it'll just give me, it'll give me a vague idea of, I don't know, something to study and just see, what does this even kind of look like? What does this system even kind of look like? I don't know. I did get me a piece of bread too. They give it to you in a little bag. I don't know exactly what it's called. I do communion each time. I was baptized as a kid, so. But, I don't know. Usually I've just kind of been sharing with my mom at dinner. I don't know. Maybe I'm supposed to eat it right then and there, but I usually save it for dinner when I actually eat. And just eat it then, I figure, if I'm going to eat. It was good. I think I don't know if it's probably not called the sermon or the message or something, and you could sit down. It's mostly a lot of standing up, and you could sit down. The message was about, are you looking for a political savior or a savior of your soul? I'm explaining this really awfully, and I'm not here to preach or any of that, because I know, if you're not into this stuff, I'm not here to beat you over the head with it. It was obviously, there was a reason why they chose that. It was a reading from Luke about a blind man who something. No, the last one was, these have all felt very appropriate. Are you, I think the last week's, it was about some lepers that Jesus was all like, go talk to the priests. And then they got cured, but only one of them came back and seemed to thank him. It was are you putting an emphasis on bodily healing or your soul? Said, I'm doing an awful job explaining any of this stuff, so. But it was good. I don't know, just this week's felt, maybe it's just due to the weather. I feel like last week the weather was a little darker and things felt a little more muted. Seemed like there were more people this time around too. So it was good. Somebody actually sat in my pew. Is that what you call it? People show up, with family, with friends, whatever. They've got their little groups. They sit next to each other, and with all the social distancing stuff and all that. So somebody actually sat in my pew. I, kind of said hello and all that. So let's see. during the part where you say Christ is in our midst. I don't know what you call that part. I usually will try to look around for anyone that looks at you, and you can do that. I actually had a few people look at me now about that. So maybe it's just going with regularity. It's still the thing. They don't do a coffee hour after. I mean, imagine with all of this, with our current situation, they don't do it. But people kind of break up into their little groups and chat. And, they've got their thing going. And it's, you might say hello or something to somebody, but they've got their own thing and they are engrossed in that. You're not going to walk in and hey, let me, or at least, I don't know. I find that a little awkward if I don't see an in of somehow, or somebody doesn't say anything. So that's been a little bit tough still to try to get to know people more. I'm kind of keeping an eye out for stragglers like me, on the outskirts who might show up and kind of there by themselves, and didn't really see too much of that today. So I didn't really, kind of told myself, afterwards, if you kind of see people, if you see people like that, maybe try to go up and try to start just making small talk, make them feel comfortable, and make it less weird for you and all that. So yeah, I will definitely say, I'm sure that this is something that's been written about, but things are slowly starting to make sense. Little passages and stuff like that you'd hear growing up. And a lot of times you'd kind of see something mocked in culture, but I don't want to get into it, but man shall not live by bread alone and all that. Sometimes looking around at all of that and you're like, man, if this is all there is, then we are truly effed, isn't it? And also, definitely, it's good to feel. I mean, I'm feeling it a little bit. I'm feeling better, but it's definitely something about pain that, I hate to say this, brings you closer to God, if that's the term. When you kind of can't rely on your own body, you do start to think about other things of what can you rely on. And so it's been good to feel better, but also you start to find your mind just kind of wander of and you have to just control that. Well, I'm just kind of go back to how I was, right? F all of this. No. I mean, I'm sure this has been written about, and, I'm not saying that my pain is somehow this big thing, but there's very much something to it. Very important lessons that can be learned, if you will. So now almost 8.5 minutes into it. Oh, geez. Well, I mean, I'm doing better, and I don't want to ramble too much about, my back pain, but doing better. I mean, the chair that I took back from my dad and gave him the gaming chair, which he's been enjoying more. It was okay at first, but I started having the same thing of just, you're okay. And then just after a few hours, it's like you're rhomboid, got to take the rhomboid pill. As Christopher Anderson said, just after a few hours, I don't know if it just can't take it anymore. And very, very quickly starts to hurt and almost just starts to feel very, very agonizing, to be honest with you. And so it's this big stark contrast of how it just kind of goes from okay-ish to unbelievably painful. I kind of had this moment of desperation of man, I'm just playing musical chairs, so to speak here. Man, this isn't working. I can do the massage and the exercises and this and that, but just there's something about chairs and the way I'm sitting, and I can change my posture and all this, but I need friggin' something that doesn't touch my shoulder blades at all. So out of desperation, I went to Office Depot and just bought this little task chair. Like, it supports your lower back, but it doesn't touch the upper back. And it definitely helped quite a lot. It actually made it much more bearable to get through some of the work shifts, particularly some of the long ones. And, you know, I bought this little gel seat cushion thing for it just to kind of help, since after a while your buttocks starts to ache. So that's helped, and I think it's a good sign. It kind of is what it is. I don't know what it is about my upper back, but it definitely does not like different types of pressure, and I don't know, man. I feel sometimes absolutely insane talking about it because of just how weird it is. But I've started exercising a little bit, which has been good, and man, if I don't get some sort of exercise, you know, like go for some sort of walk each day, I definitely go stir crazy, man. This whole just sit at home and lay down in bed all the time, no way. So I started doing a little bit of pull-ups and rows. Friday I did, I think, 3 sets of 7 reps of pull-ups, and it was fine. Trying not to push it too much. So it was okay. So it's on its, you know, I'm hoping the combination of everything and the knowledge and all that can actually go towards some sort of healing with minimal aggravation, so it gets a chance to get better. And let's see, getting on some sort of track again with the coding. Oh, yeah, Flexbox. Alright, I mean, this is pretty dumb, but this was just practicing, you know, like HTML form elements and stuff like that. So, haven't done too much HTML since a lot of the lessons were CSS and all that, but yeah, so yeah, I kind of enjoyed this tutorial from this Web Dev Simplified channel. There's some good stuff on there. So, you know, nothing fancy. Styling the forms with CSS is a bit harder, but, you know, just practicing this stuff. So, like I said, it was a lot of CSS stuff. I bookmarked a lot of various little articles that I've been going through with like little bits of information that feel, you know, it's kind of a lot to digest, but it's like the little things here and there of like, why this value, why RGB, why hex, just little stuff like that that I don't want to ignore, that I feel is kind of little bits here that you pick up that's been important. And finally got back to the Flexbox lesson that I kind of stopped at when all this stuff started, and I got through it. And let's see, I mean, I made a little placeholder website. It was just practicing getting, you know, in the different, using media queries to, like, depending on this size of the screen, this is how Flexbox will lay out columns, all that stuff. It's just kind of dumb. And then a bit of HTML forms, which I haven't done. You know, it's been a while since I've had any lessons on HTML, so it was good to finally have that. You know, it's not too bad. I mean, the different input types and the buttons and telling it so it passes the information. I just made a couple of dumb forms and followed some online tutorial too. Just you know, the online course I'm going through is fine, but there's some stuff where it doesn't explain it the best. So I don't want to like pass by it and then like, what did I learn? So I'm getting back on track. It's good, folks, but I'll be completely honest, I need to do more. I need to do more and I need to do better. It's still, like, it's good to move forward. And yes, maybe sometimes all you can do is stumble and shamble forward, but at some point you kind of need to pick yourself up, stand tall and proud and proudly move forward, not continue to stumble forward. So that is on me. That is on me, folks. I'll take my forward progress, but I got to do better if I actually mean it. I think that is probably about it for any general updates. Let's see. I will start a little bit of Q&A stuff because, otherwise this video is going to be a lot shorter than I thought. I just picked out some random stuff here. So, Noir Design asks questions for potential Q&A. Can you speak Ukrainian well? No, I can't speak it at all. I can sort of understand it when somebody speaks, but not. I couldn't speak, much less read it at all. I mean, I can read Russian, but I have to go really slowly and pronounce each word and then say it in my head of oh, I think that might be a word. Do you know anyone else besides your parents that can talk in Ukrainian? Other than family back in Ukraine? No. Another question, what physical feature of yourself are you very proud of? Not particularly any. I mean, maybe once I'm in better health and able to lift more again and make some progress with the lifting over this year, which, it takes time, right? But not really any. I do sometimes look at myself in the mirror, though, not to make some sort of I observe myself from 1,000 different angles. It's like an old bodybuilding misc meme, but I am sometimes oh man, besides this bit of this gut still, I am I have gotten skinnier, but it is the reality when you've been big for a very long time that you do have to kind of just live with these stretch marks and the loose skin and all that stuff. So no, mostly it's just nice to not have to carry around such a heavy frame. So that's what I'm most proud of, if you will. Another one, let's see, is it Sensei Sifu Shredder? George wanted to ask, what were your parents like when you were growing up from age 1 to age 19? I am guessing they never let you go a day hungry without food, nor were they troublemakers in the local community. That's pretty much it. But were they very controlling or egotistical, or were dominant towards you that it affected your self-esteem and self-confidence? Not really. It was just mostly a hands-off, kind of assuming a little too much that, your kid will just go to school and whatever, and things will just work out and he'll figure it out. It's kind of a little too on the left, leave to your own devices. And when you're kind of lost and all that, and sometimes you do need guidance and all that. So, left to your own devices, it was what? Well, I guess I'll just sit at home and play video games and not really talk to anyone and just browse the internet. But, I'm not going to do the whole, oh, I hate my parents or anything like that. No, it simply is what it is. I do love and cherish them, even though I'm not always very good at showing it, and I do appreciate them. So I'm not going to do the, oh, if only they did this, I would be such a winner in life. No, ultimately, you don't really know either way. It simply is what it is, and it doesn't matter now. All that matters now is right now. What are you going to, just in general, what are you going to do now? Let's see. There's another. Dumb Forester said, how I wish Minister Random would keep making those music videos about the I-word community. They were top quality. Yeah, me too. If you're out there, Minister Random, if you ever see this, I miss you a lot, man. I'm sure other people do. Your videos were very funny. I hope you're doing well. Some people think that that was me. No, it wasn't. I don't even have good editing skills like that. He was some dude from the UK who was half Russian, half Jamaican or something like that. If I'm not mistaken. And it was just, you know, I tried to email him a couple of times, never heard back. A while ago, his sister actually emailed me and asked him if I could do like a happy birthday video. It was an unlisted video on my other channel. And on the second channel I had, which no longer exists, and thankfully. And I think he just kind of messaged me one day, and it was like, oh, you know, I think just kind of moving on and lost interest and deleted all his stuff, and that was that. So I miss him too. So if we never see him again, same thing with producer Chris. If we never see him, either of them again, we will honor their memory. And I certainly wish them well. Jesse Piazza asks, where do you see yourself in 10 years? Ooh, that is quite the question, isn't it? I want to sit here and tell you healthy, a good career, a wife, kids, family, house, good like social circle-ish. But that I fully admit that may very well be just a delusion. But I'm not even so sure about that anymore. I'm not even so sure that it's a delusion anymore. This is something I was thinking about. You know, is it a delusion or is it an excuse? By calling something a delusion, are you just making another excuse? It's this like deeper layer of excuse making where you find another way to just avoid having to really take responsibility for your life and not have to actually challenge yourself and do something actually difficult and all of that. Where you find another way of like, another way to just write everything off, give yourself an excuse to stay the same, never really do what you need to do to achieve the things or thing. So that's been on my mind. Because at the end of the day, I mean, it's as much of a meme as it is. It's also the truth of the thing that you say you want. Do you actually mean it? You know, how badly do you actually want it? What are you willing to do and what are you willing to give up? By just saying that's a delusion, you've given yourself this big, broad kind of, oh, now I don't have to do anything and worry about it and test myself because, well, that's just a delusion. So definitely, you know, not to get all spiritual and whatever, anything like that, but sort of in the yin and yang of transformation, you know. A part of it is doing, the other part of it is definitely giving up. What are you willing to give up? What uncomfortable things are you willing to do? How much of it to get where you want to get, or at least have a hope? You know, giving things up may be a bigger piece of the pie than actually even doing things. Are you doing everything in your power, as much time each day as you humanly can, to try to move towards that goal? There is still something to just pick at, you know, just something that you pick at here and there. This is what I mean by doing needing to do more and needing to do better. I don't know. Other than that, man, I don't know if I have a great answer to that. There is almost a silver lining, if you will, to being a loser, if you will. Because I think mindset and perspective is certainly important. And it's not meant to be some sort of a hope or cope or some false, dude, you just got to stay positive and things will work out. It's none of that. It's just a silver lining, a like little wild card in play. You know, I mean, the wild card in our modern day world is that everything is kind of being turned on its head, and a lot of the things, you know, a lot of things are just kind of being twisted and turned and all that stuff. And so who knows how you can fit in with what you're doing with it, where maybe in the past something, whatever it is, may not have really been possible. Now it may be. But the silver lining, I suppose, the silver lining, not a hope, not a cope, if you're willing to do it, to take on the challenge, is that when you're not really anybody, you know, when you're not somebody, you can kind of go more or less become anybody in a way, to some extent. I mean, what's stopping you, right? Laziness, excuses, not wanting to face discomfort, not wanting to just face that daily grind of deferred gratification and not seeing any results for long periods of time. It's kind of like you don't really have much. And that's not to mean being ungrateful for, you know, having a roof over your head and food on the table and stuff like that. It's none of that. But, you know, when things didn't maybe turn out, I mean, then what's kind of keeping you from, why hold on to that? What's stopping you from trying to go and just go become somebody else then, you know? I don't know. It's all certainly nice to say, but it's something completely different to then have to just go out and do it, right? But I got to do better, folks, and I got to do more. Let's see. Coco Bean asked, What's the best piece of advice you would give to a younger you? I mean, I feel like I've sort of answered this in some ways over the last year or so, but if I had to encapsulate it all, fitness, faith, friends, and a skill. You know, fitness in terms of just overall taking care of your health, and not waiting until everything is just falling apart that you start to show some concern for it. You can get away with it for a while, maybe a long time, but once it starts to go, and man, does it suck. And yeah, I mean, it's great that I lost the weight, but now it's kind of just living with the stretch marks and the loose skin and all that stuff, so faith, because of, you know, just removing the sort of edgy fedora aside, I don't know, you get older, you just think about mortality, you think about life, the everything else, and you just wonder, man, if this is it, if this is truly it, then we are utterly effed, aren't we? Even if you win, you lose. Friends, because, you know, I'm not saying that I want every single waking second of my life to be, I need to hang out and do something with people. I certainly still appreciate my alone time to kind of recharge and just do my own stuff, but this whole just hiding away from people, hiding away from the world. You might convince yourself that you're okay with it, but we truly are social creatures. And you start getting older, and it is much, much, much harder to start making friends and all that. The best time was high school, pretty much. High school and college, but I would say primarily high school. It's not necessarily impossible now, but it certainly gets much harder. And a skill so that you feel like your life actually has some sort of vague purpose and you can actually do something that's useful to others. Maybe coding, maybe something else, whatever it is, even plumbing, whatever, anything. Just something I wished I would have started learning long, long ago. You know, when you were younger, your brain was a bit more pliable and you could learn and focus and concentrate a lot easier. Because now, in your mid-30s, I'm learning. But man, it is much harder. I'm getting better at it, but when I was starting-ish again, you'd watch these tutorials and read stuff, and after several minutes, I swear, I would start to literally fall asleep and my brain would hurt, and that I would need to actually lay down for a few minutes in bed and just close my eyes so my brain could kind of relax. It was like the weirdest, craziest thing. I would be fine, but I would sit down and try to start learn something, and I would literally just start to nod off. That's how deconditioned my brain was and is. So, it's not an excuse to not do anything now. You kind of work with what you have now and make the best of it. But that would be the best piece of advice for my younger self. But what is the quote? Youth is wasted on the young, right? Nobody young generally ever listens. You could have made the best case when I was younger, all that stuff, and what difference would it have made? Probably not at all. It's not until you start to lose it, you start to decline, you start to get older and you've kind of seen the results of what you're doing and where it leads to, which is nowhere, that you begin to think about, oh, maybe I need to actually do something else, right? Or maybe I should do this thing that I've been putting off for a long time and all that jazz. I'm not saying that younger people are all like that, but for the most part, let's be honest, they generally are. It's sort of this great conundrum. Let's see. I think there's one more. No, I think there's two more. I think Marky Grift made a comment. Thought it was very appropriate. It's just an old little non-functioning Android phone that I found I had somewhere. I don't even remember where I got this. And I put these on, just made it much easier to be able to read from. Marky Griff said, people really underestimate what years of isolation, gaming, and comfort eating does to the mind and body. Very much true. It's everything that I've described already so far in this video. You become socially de-skilled and start developing intimacy issues without even realizing. Very, very true. When/if the opportunities begin to present themselves, you find an almost sort of awkwardness with it. It's the thing that you've been thinking about, and then when you actually have it, it's like, I don't even know what to do with it. You have to slowly recover from it. All right, well, somebody listening to music? Is that, hold on. I don't want it to be heard by the thing, and I'm going to do a content strike. You have to slowly recover from it. It's just as serious as a drug or alcohol addiction. I can agree with that in some way, and I'm not comparing pain or any of that stuff, but yeah, it's as I've said that, you're coming into the game very late, and the world did not stop to wait for you to catch up. So there certainly is that reality in this, and it's then the the fact that you can't just pick at it, right? You can't just pick away at it. You kind of need to give it your all at this point, which is why I keep saying that I need to do more and I need to do better, folks. The time for here and there. Oh, geez, I'm already starting to lose my voice from. Should have brought some water with me. Forgot. Oh, no, they didn't have any holy water they were giving out. Yeah, the time for picking away at it. You may not like the meal, but you better open up and be taking big bites of it with a smile on your face is what it is now. All right, and the very last one. Oh, geez, my voice is really going. The very last one from XPanic17. There's a number of questions about, just the diet and all that. Do you feel skinny or is it not real yet? Also, it would be cool if you could talk about the exercise you think that resulted in losing your love handles. I mean, I still have it a bit, but not as bad. I mean, essentially, I follow the carnivore diet. I don't have any particular days where I will have vegetables or anything like that. I mean, I've cheated here and there because of maybe once a month because of a holiday or maybe like my parents' birthday or something like that. I'll have some vegetables and something else that they make. So there is that, I suppose, but I'm able to recover pretty quickly from that now because it is an established habit now. And I'm not one of these people that I'm here to preach the carnivore diet to you. Hey, I like it so far. Am I going to eat this way for the rest of my life? I'm not sure. Maybe not, but we'll see. For now, I have no reason to not do that. If you don't like it, that's fine. I mean, if you prefer veganism, that's fine. If it works for you and you like it, man, all the more power to you. I definitely feel a lot better on a low-carb diet. If I ever do change it, I might just add in some low-carb veggies, and that'll be that. I don't see a reason to really change it now, though. I mean, I'm not one of these people that forms an identity around their diet. I don't care who you are and what side you come from, but your very fiber and existence and identity is based around diet. I find that stuff just absolutely insane. I don't care what side you come from. No, thank you. I mean, this is just a general trend in society where people are just desperate for something. And so they glom onto these random things and form their very basis from it, no matter if it's diet or some hobby or a vice that they have or a problem. That becomes their thing. Because, this general kind of emptiness in life that, that identity, if you didn't have that, you'd have nothing. So, I don't know. I don't think that's the way. So, that's really where the results came from. Try to go for a walk each day on an empty stomach of 30 plus minutes. And just be consistent and stop thinking about it. I do eat only once a day, so there is an element of intermittent fasting. Most of it, it's like they say, what is it? Abs are made in the kitchen. It's mostly diet. And only a small portion of it is exercise. And that's what I've very much found to be true. Consistency, no matter what it is, and just giving it time. So that's what's worked for me, if you care. However, if that's not your thing, that's fine. I'm not here to convince you of any of that. So I think that's it for the Q&A. I don't know, did you find any of that interesting? Did you care? I know people come from different interests, and maybe you watch, maybe you listen, you just do something else in the background. So that's probably gonna be it. Getting back on track. Trying to learn from the mistakes. Trying to do better. It's kind of time to do a bit more better now. Time to do a bit more better now. And on that note, folks, I think we're going to end it there. And I will see you next Sunday. Bye-bye.